Hey y'all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a quick look at the boring lamp. Despite the name, this is anything but boring for a light, that is. Aside from being a table lamp, it can also be detached and used as a monitor light. So the color of the light is going to be adjustable, so you can make it colder or warmer. I can use it in the RGB mode as kind of a party light, atmospheric light. A 3000 milliamp hour capacity battery, again, can also make it detachable if you are using it in the flashlight or lightsaber modes. And it will go for about $100 a pop, which is really not bad, considering that it's serving triple or really quad duty, and also has, again, that 15 watt for wireless charging for smartphones. Comes in space gray and silver colors. This is the silver edition. We have just a quick user guide right on top. Further down below, we have the actual resting base for the lamp, and we have just a power adapter port on the very back, additional soft touch rubber feet on the edges. Some extra goodies include the power adapter. We have the barrel plug for the base as well as the Type-C port, and that's because you can also use it in the lightsaber or flashlight mode and close off the end cap and just charge it using standard Type-C. In fact, the battery in the lightsaber mode is actually housed in the separate compartment that you do have to attach on, so there's an extra module. Last but not least, there is the attachment if you're using it in the computer monitor light mode. So similar to other computer lamps that we've seen in the past, this would rest over your monitor. Here's a look at the lamp with everything attached, which is again super quick thanks to the magnets. The wireless Qi charger also works quite well. You just have to attach your phone onto the pad and you can see the charging will start there in a moment. It is a magnetic Qi charger as well, so supports MagSafe. So let's say I want to switch it now into the portrait orientation. I have to just turn it around and you can see that we are continuing to fast charge wirelessly. So it's a pretty responsive region, also works with smartwatches, although it's a little bit more finicky when it comes to wireless TWS buds. If anything, I would say maybe in a next generation model, they could consider making the power cable also gray to match the base here. But I do have to stress that this is a pre-production unit, so not everything is 100% finalized. Otherwise, it is very easy to adjust in terms of angles, twist on this tube to change the angle more towards us or facing down. And at 1500 lumens, it's bright enough for work, even if it's your only light source on a desk. As you can see there, the power key is located on the side, since it has to be also present for the light bar and the flashlight modes. So you can tap and hold for 3 seconds to turn it entirely on or off. It's a capacitive key, so it's going to be touch sensitive as opposed to a physical button, and so you don't have to press very hard, and overall it does the trick and not too bad in terms of using it. We can also twist on this knob to change properties like the brightness. So this is the maximum setting, for instance, and we can also crank it down to get into more of a minimum setting. So by default, this is more of a natural color, but we can tap once to make it more of a warmer glow, as you can see there, more comfortable maybe for reading, and once more to get a cold glow, which is closer to blue. Since everything is magnetic, you can also very easily turn the tube and still have the light function, and you can also adjust the height of the lamp as well. So right now we have the lowest degree, but we can also easily pop it up. Down below here, we are charging the battery pack, the 3000 milliamp hour cell at the same time, and I do have to point out that the battery pack also has a small blue LED which will flash when it's being charged. I'm going to just pull this off again using the magnets, and everything is illuminated as well in terms of the placements once it's connected to power, which is pretty neat. So it's easier to find these targets if you are moving around the dark. The moving parts, including the lamp, is constructed out of aluminum alloy, so it feels quite sturdy. Alright, so pulling off the battery pack, I'm going to now pop it onto the end, give it a bit of a twist to lock it into place, and we are good to go. Just tap on the light here for 3 seconds, as usual, to put it onto the on mode. That battery compartment also becomes a perfect spot to hold the light and really does make it feel like a lightsaber, which is quite cool. And we can again tap on it once to go into now a glowing mode, which will slowly oscillate between brighter and dimmer levels, as you can see there. We can also tap on it again to change into a next color, which will be fully red. Once more here to go into a sound reacted mode. So this is using microphones built into the light bar that will sense how loud your surroundings are if you're talking, clapping, in addition to any music that you're listening to. Between yellows, blues, greens, and everything is flashing and dancing in a more vibrant shade. This is actually working quite well. once more here, and it will do more of a continuous strobe, as you can see there in terms of the animation. And by the way, on all of these modes, you can also change the brightness level just by turning that knob. And it's bright enough even if you're using it with a bit of extra lighting around you, it can still be seen. Definitely quite fun to play in the dark, especially if you have a certain long persistence motion camera mode. You're able to capture some interesting looking effects. This reactive as well as lightsaber RGB effects is basically what you get when you're using it in the atmospheric light mode. In fact, here's a demo of that. Once again, we can tap for all the various lighting effects and controls that we saw there from earlier. One thing I will say though is at the moment, at least in this pre-production variant, it doesn't seem to have a companion app in terms of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connectivity just yet. So that would be a cool extra function to have maybe down the road, if you can then connect to it using your phone and further change the lighting effects to a more curated manner compared to smart lights from companies like Govee and Nanoleaf. But regardless, the light itself is definitely very well made and functions as intended right now with those preset lighting effects that we have on board. So here's the monitor lamp mode attached, and again it works as you would expect, illuminating the area down below without taking up the space of an extra table lamp. And you're able to pretty easily change the direction as long as it's attached to the magnet, whether it's further down below at your desk area or even upwards to the background. It's where having that Type-C connection is going to be important, since you can then attach the other end onto your laptop, for instance, and power this device when you're using it as a monitor lamp. The attachment isn't quite as tight as on the table lamp mode, so this is perhaps where in the future, if they have a separate wireless dial or again app to control things without touching the side, I think could make it even more beneficial. But regardless, definitely works and does the job as you would expect. So that's more or less it as far as our quick hands-on review of the boring lamp. As aforementioned, this is nothing but boring with all of its unique RGB effects as well as the clever modularity. Aside from some minor quirks, overall I think it's a very well-performing and a pretty good value table lamp considering you're getting multiple options in one. You can check out additional details if interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.